Wow, 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 people. Manchester United at the death against Burnley, taking it in the end with a Bruno Fernandez penalty to win 3-2 in a game of Jackal and Hyde for Manchester United, in a game of two halves. Man United have won that. And obviously, I'm joined by Terry, who's absolutely buzzing. But we're not just talking about Manchester United today. We are also going to be talking about how Spurs got dominated, absolutely dominated by Bournemouth, who should have won by plenty more goals. We are the Football Terrace. This is the full fan highlights. We will be taking some calls later on in the show as well. We're talking Bruno Fernandez. We're talking Bumo. We're talking what does this mean for Amarim? Thomas Frank. Has the engine burnt out already? What was going on there? And much, much more to speak about today. But before we get started, make sure you like the stream, people. Make sure you subscribe to the Football Terrace and turn on your bell notifications, because YouTube don't like to tell you guys when we're live. So make sure that is on so you get the notification pop up. Terrence,
brother,
we were talking throughout the game. And we mentioned the word luck. We mentioned the word things not going our way. And in the end, even though we squandered so many chances to take the lead and take Burnley out of the game from the first half, in the end, we get that bit of luck, a mistake by Jadon Anthony with a clear pull on Amad Diallo as he enters into the box, gets us the penalty. Bruno Fernandez, who is coming under a lot of scrutiny in the last week or so, coming to a lot of scrutiny for missing his pen, for his leadership, for his how he plays the game. He steps up and bears it for Manchester United. And as a Man United fan, how are you feeling with this result in the end? We come in such a dramatic way.
Look, listen, thanks for the last few days as well, covering the shows. It was exhilarating. It was enthralling. It was an amazing game to watch. And of course, rivals are going to be gutted and bitter and everything else, because today isn't the day they get to write the full obituary of Manchester United. And as I said last week, I've lost faith in us getting back to the top. And today hasn't changed my mind. It would take multiple performances like this, multiple wins for that to happen. But that being said, I was very angry going into the last 5 minutes, because I looked at another game where the manager for me had coached the victory. We missed, we have 26 shots in there. Actually, I was looking at the stats. What did we have in that game? 26 shots in that football match. And so many should have been goals. The misses from Xerxes and Ahmad at the end of near the end of the first half, in Bumo's first couple of shots, there was even Bruno's shot from the edge of the box. You may say that's hard, but actually he had a lot of time and a big space to aim at, as an example. There were lots of other times where the final ball was there, or we're in on goal and we should do better. I was fuming, because that was another well-coached team today. In the attacking sense of the word, we were exhilarating. It was probably the best attacking performance I've seen from Manchester United in well over 12 months. But I was sitting here fuming again at those players, because for me, it doesn't just, we'll put Amarim aside for a moment. I've seen that under Ten Hag. I've seen it under LVG. I've seen it under Jose. I've seen it under Ollie, where we're sitting there and we're going, hang on a minute. How on God's green earth are we not winning this game by 2 or 3 clear goals? How are we not going into the second half relaxed, 2-0, 3-0 up? And Brighton came back and they scared the living daylights out of me. That is the element of Ruben's setup today that I would question, is the marking from that throw. I thought was poor. I think it was poor, coupled with the team becoming lackadaisical. We have this habit, and he has got to work on this. We go a goal up, and something about our mentality changes. I know the other team attack us more because they're now a goal down, but our players can't seem to handle that. And you saw that, especially with the first goal we conceded. That element really annoyed me, because I just didn't think that Burnley were let's listen to the commentator. They were talking about how Burnley were value for being at 2-2. I'm sitting there going, if you just look at the chances, the shots, every statistic matches what my eye test said, that Man United were the absolute dominant force. Burnley, a couple of smash and grab goals, and I thought they were going to walk away with something. But yes, look, a penalty. I'll be honest with you. This is where this is why I love being consistent, because you don't get caught out on these circumstances. I think it's a fleeting pull. I think it's a fleeting pull, and I think we were lucky to get it. That being said, what did I say about all those fleeting pulls for the last 2 seasons? I said they're all penalties. So from my point of view, it's a penalty. I've always said they're penalties. I was surprised that it was given, but I'm going to be honest with you. As a Man United fan, I couldn't care less. Yes, I know some people will go, oh, it means Ruben stayed for another game. So we need points on the board.
Yep.
We haven't been ninth. We haven't been this high in the table for a long time. We're ninth, and I can't breathe. But yeah, look, on a real level, there were some really, really good parts of today. And again, I look at the performances. So I can walk away today happy that we won because our overall performance across the 90 minutes was the best we've seen so far this season. My question marks still, though, KJ, are finishing more chances early in the game. And we've got to stay switched on when we take the lead because we're so vulnerable at that point, and it's something that Ruben has to work on. But it is 3 goals in the game. We rarely do that. And it's Burnley. And someone got to tell you, Burnley, look at Man United's record at home against Burnley. We don't beat them very often. They're just a bit of a bogey team for us. So overall, mate, I'm made up that we won. It was so important for us. And you can see how much it meant to the players. So I'm glad they got that because I challenged them on Wednesday, said they didn't work hard enough. I thought they covered every blade of grass today. They pressed today. I was so impressed with them. I just need more clinical edge because this team, I think we've had the most amount of touches in the opponent's box, the most shots, one of the highest XGs. Every statistic you could imagine is what I've seen. We really should have scored 4, 5, 6 more goals this season and be in a better position. And that, for me, is on the players. They have got to learn to relax. They have got to learn to be more clinical.
You know, I agree, and especially with the last part you said there, our team today, you could tell like the weight of the pressure of performing it goes on them because we can perform well, but as soon as it gets to in front of goal, the asses go. They will fluff chances. They will like miss chances that you can't miss. Like the Ahmad, again, a player that we love, we appreciate him, but you can't miss an open goal like that on your stronger foot as well. The ball bubbles. But you get over the ball. You make sure that stays on target. And Boomer, I'm so happy he got his first goal, but he should have had it earlier in the game. He had 2 opportunities back to back where you say you should do better. You've got to at least score one of them. Bruno, edge of the box. Like so many players had chances today where you look at it and it's like, yo, like if you guys just relaxed and just like chilled, you would score. Because I reckon and Bruno had his chances today that he got playing for Brentford, where he's relaxed, he's cool, he knows what's going on. He gets a hat trick, easy, because he was actually really good today. But because we're in this place right now where everything is getting scrutinized, everything's getting looked at. You can tell the players feel it. And look, I'm a part of it. You're a part of it. Like we as fans, all of us are a part of that. And I'm not saying we need to just ignore signs of things being poor. No, you still highlight that. But maybe do we need to relax? You know, like, I don't know. But it's a long way to go. Having to scrape a last minute winner against Burnley via a penalty is not what you want to see. But the signs are there. If we score goals earlier in the game, we have more of a chance of winning games. So hopefully this is a turning point for the team and the manager where we can look at him and be like, right, everyone gets back on board and we go and win some more games. But on the penalty though, I know a lot of people in the chat saying that it wasn't a pen, it's a robbery, it's illegal. Ahmad cheated. He didn't pull him long enough. Terry, look how far this goes when you pulled it. It wasn't this. It wasn't this. It was this. And look, the fact that I'll finish my point is this.
Sorry.
Is the fact that he held it long enough for Ahmad to run into the box. That's a long enough pull for me. If he was doing it outside the box, pulled him a little, then let him go, and then Ahmad went down, I'm not okay, cool. Like it's a dive, Ahmad deserves to get booked. But he held on with it long enough for us to even see how far his shirt was pulled. And he was in the box. His whole foot was in the box before he let go. For me, it's a clear penalty.
Look, I've said all the last season and the year before that they're fouls. And this weird whenever you hear Dermot Gallagher ask this question, he always goes, I'm not playing these silly hypothetical games. That is a foul every other part of the pitch. Amad Diallo is going to run onto that ball in a very dangerous part of the box. And yes, he goes down. Okay. And I'm not an advocate of it, but people like Gary Neville, most of the media pundits, and most fans when their teams have players that dive. I've been saying this for 10 years on socials. You didn't want to listen, so I don't want to hear your bleating like a little bitch today. And that is that we are setting the precedent that it's okay to go down, because people like Gary Neville would say, well, you've got to go down because otherwise you don't get the fouls. And then everybody starts to go, yeah, it's okay when my players dive. So Amad today has only followed suit compared to every other player that's come before him. Amad was still a youth, bruv. Amad was still in his dad's ball bag when we were justifying diving in the Premier League. So he's gone down. But the thing is, if he doesn't go down, he doesn't get the foul. And that's where the refereeing has to be looked at. But it is a foul. At the end of the day, he's got away from his man. He's going to run onto the ball in a dangerous area of the box, and he's being pulled. I'm so glad they're getting rid of that fleeting pull bullshit. I called it out all of last season because that is a foul. And what is a fleeting pull? You know as well as I do at elite level sport. A split second is everything, especially in those tight quarters. You hold on to someone's shirt for a second, and it stops their run. You may stop them from getting onto the ball. It should always be penalised. It really should. And Amad, listen, I'm glad he got the penalty, because he was someone I was really looking at the end of this game, because I really wanted to nitpick. I really wanted to nitpick and look at individuals and say, do you know what? Who could have done more for us today? And he was one of them. He wasn't the only one, Amad, but he was one of them where I'm looking at it and I'm going, you need to start being more clinical. We all rate you. We all love you. We all see your skill. Much better today when he attacked. See the way he was running at fullbacks today. Last week, I know that everyone wants... There's a lot of people that want Amorim out, so they're focusing on tactics. But like I said at the last game, why was he not running at fullbacks? He was doing that today, but he's got to add a better final ball, and he's got to add more goals to his game, because we are pinning him up as one of our stars, and we're Manchester United, and we must have high standards on these players. So I thought that from him. Obviously, Cunha being injured today is a real sour. Leaves a bit of a sour taste, because I thought he was majestic when he was on the football pitch, and I think we might have scored more goals had he have stayed on, because he's just a little bit more dynamic than Joshua Zirkzee. But I just wanted to give a shout out to him. But I want to talk about a player before we go to super chats. I know we've got people backstage. I want to speak about a player, KJ. I want to praise Bruno Fernandez today, because I have been so critical of him in the 8. And I stand by everything I've said about him playing in the 8. I don't take any of the criticism back. But today, he was fantastic. Whether most amount of recoveries on the pitch, the amount of highest level of chance creation, as an example, did his job fantastically. Yes, you can point to 2 or 3 passes where he gave the ball away, but I don't care, because that is normal and natural for most midfield players. I saw Scholes do it, but this is what I want to see from him, that type of performance. And the composure at the end, after missing that penalty last week, knowing exactly how important this win was. Just want to give Bruno Fernandez a shout out, because everyone knows I rate him. I will criticize him heavily when he deserves it, but he deserves praise today, because if you've watched Bruno Fernandez today, 8 or no 8, and you don't praise that performance, that just tells me that your agendas against players is more important than the club. And if you think that criticism is about holding the standards high so you get better, then praise will also create encouragement, which can make you better. We must praise good performances, whether you like the player or not. So I wanted to shout out Bruno Fernandez and Kobbie Mainoo as well, because I thought Kobbie came on. I thought he was absolutely brilliant today. So listen, Amorim, you saw what he did today. You saw what he did in the second half against Grimsby. Give Kobbie more time, because we need that young man.
Yeah, we do. And I was happy that he brought on Kobbie at halftime as well, to give him actual minutes instead of 10 minutes when the game's gone, or we're so desperate that he's got to go and show the world how good he is in 10 minutes. Like, that's not fair, but he got a good run at it. And so someone made a good point on a show yesterday. Is like, in terms of Kobbie playing, the reason why he wants to leave is because he wants game time, but he needs to be, maybe he just needs to sit down, work hard, and be understood to Bruno. But but that made me think, but he was playing with Bruno for like 2 years. So it's not like he's never played with Bruno before, and now he's just decided to get fed up. He's been playing with Bruno. And when you see them both on the pitch, you see what they can bring to Manchester United. And yes, Bruno Fernandes gets a lot of stick. He's probably the most critically analysed player in the Premier League. He could cough and they will say he's moaning. Like, Yeah, that's the thing. He's so criticized, so microanalyzed that to take that pen and to have the mentality to put everything behind him from last week and secure it in that way. Big props to Man United, and big props to Bruno, and well done to Man United. We've got some super chats here that we want to go through.
Can you do Joshua Jacks first? Because I've got to go in a few moments. But
Okay,
I also want to just hear from Durag Diaries when he comes on for a second. So I just want to say hi to my brother. I'll say hi.
So yeah, he says, look, even though we got the 3 points, this is still unsustainable. All this to beat Burnley at home, like I'm seeing people saying this is why the system works. Like, what about the other 30 to 40 games?
See, this is the thing. I know I said this to you. I said it to Lou and a few people backstage after Wednesday's game. I said this is the issue as well, and this is about. I'm not saying today should change anybody's mind. The same as I'm not going to get carried away. I'm going to praise today in isolation. But I need to more understand what you mean by the system working. Defensively, I agree with you. But Man United are creating more. I've created, and we've played a real dichotomy of teams. We've actually played 3 teams that represent the entirety of the Premier League. Title contenders, actually the bookies' favourites right now in Arsenal, a really solid mid to high mid-table team in Fulham, and a relegation candidate. And across all those 3 games, you average it out each weekend. We have quite literally been the team that is now sitting in a space of most entries into the box, high XG, most shots on goal, most shots on target, but with the lowest conversion rate. So there are elements of this system that absolutely work. And I think this is why I push back on these opinions. It doesn't mean you shouldn't criticize Ruben and go, see, it works. I agree. But we can't look beyond problems that will translate, that will migrate and metastasize into the next manager, into the next step. We have to, as a football club, be honest, and we have to be transparent and look at root cause analysis. And I've said this when we've won this season today, and I'm saying it when we lose, because I don't have an agenda other than one thing. And you and I spoke about this a lot last night, KJ. My agenda is I want Man United to be better. And I know everybody will say the same thing, but I don't think it. I think what we do say does carry a little bit of weight and does seep into what our football club does, what our players think and feel. We know this because Jokerit did the hair thing. He obviously watches social media. But for me personally, it's very much about, I look at a game like today, and this is where I get a little disheartened, is that when we played well against Arsenal, we didn't win. It was like, fuck this. Played well today and won, it's still, fuck this. For me, it's a case of, you've got to enjoy your wins, man. Just as a fan, you've got to enjoy your wins. That's my message on that. But look, KJ, there's a few more super chats and I'll jump off. Sorry.
We got some super chats here. It's funny enough, the contrast to what Joshua Jack said, Nabil coming out with, I thought the system didn't work. My God, some fans are stupid. In all seriousness, we need a midfielder and a goalkeeper and a great win. I don't think this win just automatically makes the system work and everyone should let it go. Like Terry said, we can't be feast or famine. Yes, we won the game, enjoy the win, but we still got a long way to go. We do need a midfielder and we do need a goalkeeper for sure. Question, how can you expect the team to have a good mentality when the manager showed an emotional stability of a teenage girl in the press conference? Well, here's the thing. Yes, Amorim needs to control his emotions better. He's admitted that himself. He's said that many times and he's working on that. I think he needs to control his emotions better to help with the players. But at the same time, this ain't nothing new. This ain't like Amorim came and suddenly the mentality's gone down to pot. It's literally been here for years. So it's something that Man United as a club need to find a way to fix.
It's true. And I wouldn't even say that. I actually thought what he said in his press conference yesterday made, actually, if you're a grown man, if you've got children, if you had a real job, you'd understand it. You have moments as a parent at 3 o'clock in the morning. He said it. Sometimes I hate my kids. He said that. Sometimes you're changing in a nappy at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're exhausted, and you get the sickest, most horriblest thoughts in your mind for a split moment. Even when you're this age, sometimes one of your kids or a nephew will mouth off at you, and you have this instinct of, I could hit you in the face. It's like a split second where you want to go whack like this, but you don't, right? All Ruben did was express this. There are days where people want to quit their jobs, but they don't. What I thought he said was the most human thing I've heard from a Man United manager in a long time. And then I saw really weird people online go, that's a weird thing to say. I was like, brother, I think you need to read the room. I think you're the weird one for not thinking like everybody else does. But brother, look, I'm going to shoot because I've got to take the kids. We're family. We're going out to see the circus. for Fred's birthday, so I've got to shoot. But I told him that we're watching this game no matter what, because I couldn't. Even though I said I didn't want to watch it, it was not going to happen.
At least they got a dramatic last minute winner for them to cheer for.
No,
well.
they've been sleeping in bed, actually. They've been asleep in bed, so getting a little nap. But listen, people, make sure you stay. The panel's coming soon. KJ, love. I'm back live tomorrow after Arsenal Liverpool, so I'm back in the studio tomorrow. But thank you, Bruno. Thank you, United. Thank you, Amarim. You got us to win today. So I tell you what, I'm looking forward to tonight.
You can enjoy your day.
But I'm getting home after the circus. I can watch Match of the Day, and I can watch it with a smile because the Spurs have lost, you know what I mean? And it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good night. Listen, people, love you all to bits. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers, people. Bye-bye.
Yeah, peace out, Terry. We will continue on with the super chats here, and then we'll get the panel out for you guys. Darius says, people who know ball knows it was a bad Mbeumo pass, should be on the floor in front of him to tap it in. Yes, we can criticize the Mbeumo pass for sure. Like, it should be better. But at the same time, you're a pro footballer with an open net. Adjust your body to make sure that at least it goes into the roof. You can't sky those, man. I'm sorry. And it's not like Ahmad's a centre back who's not very nimble. He's very clunky. He's slight. He's nimble. He's got good agility. Ahmad can still do better. But yes, Mbeumo should pass that better as well. Shouldn't it be when the shirt pull started? Outside, no, it's when shirt pulls. Does it continue on into the box? Because if it continues onto a box, that's when they call it a penalty. And it continued onto the box. We all could see. 3 points and 3 points. I hope Cunha is okay. I also hope Cunha is okay. And yes, we need those 3 points desperately. Ridiculous how far United are from the big dogs. Hey, we are a fallen club. We are a fallen club, and so we need to find ways to get back there. We're trying, but yeah, that's what happens when you ran by the Glazers for 20 odd years. That's what happens when someone like Ineos is trying to fix that. We're not going to be there yet. Let's see where we are in 2, 3, 4 years' time. Maybe we can come back to this conversation. United has the most attempts on goal throughout the first 3 games. Amarim is doing his job by coaching these guys into scoring positions. Hey, listen, today you can't look at Amarim today. You can't look at Amarim today for the reason why we got into the position that we were. We should have blown them away in the first half, scored at least 4 goals, 5 goals. And no one's talking about Amarim. No one's talking about the tactics. But today, listen, I'm worried about the tactics at times against better opposition. But I can't look at Amarim today and be like, oh, yeah, like it's because your tactics that's why we conceded 2 goals. Our defenders were sleeping on both. Like, what more can you do? These 3 league games have proven it's not the system. If we don't finish our chances, we only give the other team confidence. Unless Amarim is expected to start putting them in away himself, we will see if it's completely not the system in a few more games. But the first few games have shown that players have a big part to play as well. We've also got the shirt pulls outside the box. No penalty. Are you blind? It is a penalty because the shirt pull continued into the box, and that's when the foul was finally committed. And then that was a dive. Can a guy can pull his shirt and still dive? Yes, he can pull his shirt and still dive. So if someone does this to me and I dive on the floor and I dive in the penalty box, yeah, cool. It's a dive. But when I'm trying to sprint full speed and someone's dragging my shirt like this, as soon as you let go, my momentum's changing and I'm going. It's not a dive. It's not a dive. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe because Ahmad's small. Maybe because Ahmad's small is light, so the way that he goes over, it looks like, oh, he's dived. But I'm so sorry, guys. I know some of you are saying it's a dive. I do not agree. From the moment I saw this dragging, and he hold on to it long enough for Ahmad to get to the box, it's curtains. And one last one before the panel comes on. Spurs demoralized and Man United breathe the skin in their teeth. Talking about Spurs, we do have a Spurs fan. I thought no one's going to turn up, but we do have one Spurs fan at least. So we're going to bring them out. We've got man like Durag Diary. We've got Sunshine. We've got Seb. And we've got David. We've got others backstage as well. We'll get to you guys in a moment. But welcome everyone to the show. We spoke about Man United enough right now, so we're going to give that a break and come back to that in a moment. Spurs, baby. Spurs. George. This is your first loss in the Premier League, but it wasn't like a loss where it was even and just one goal was in it and you just happened to lose. it was an absolute domination. You guys did not have any shots, no corners in the first half. In the entire game, it looks like you were limited to 5 shots all game compared to the, if I do the quick math right there, 19 to Bournemouth. Even though they had less possession, they were peppering your goal and they should have scored more than one on many occasions in this game. What was your, I didn't get to see as much. So what was your thoughts on the game? What went wrong for Spurs today?
Do you know, I'll be real, innit? Like, first of all, like, yeah, we lost. It's going to happen, you know. We got a new manager. We got a bump in the road. It's part of the game. When we didn't think that we were going to win every single game for the rest of the season. So people can speak up. I see Ches in the chat. Like, these are things that are going to happen. Bournemouth played a very good game like they did against Liverpool in that second half. They come out and the high press killed us. It just killed us. We couldn't play through the press, especially when we went into that game with a very similar setup to what we did against Manchester City. So it's a very combative midfield with Paulinho, Bentancur and Sarr. And I think it just was a little bit too defensive for my liking. I think we needed a few more players that could just get on the ball, control it, hold it up a bit more and just take their time with it. I feel like we had too many players that were just causing foul after foul. Bournemouth were just better than us in every sense. You know, all the 50-50s they won. They could have scored 3 or 4 more goals. Like you mentioned there, in regards to the stats, we didn't get a shot on goal until the 70th minute. Like the 70th minute is when the game changed and we actually started to build into it. But that was only once the changes were made to see Bergvall come on the pitch and Odegaard. But up until then, Semenyo, he's just looking class. I can't lie. He started this season with a chip on his shoulder. Like he's really out there to prove to everyone he is one of the top wingers. I think he does want that move next year, and he will definitely earn it with the way that he started because he just ragdolled Porro, man. Like we know that he's a bully when he runs through the pitch, but this guy is unstoppable. He was just running. 2 or 3 players you're getting on him. He's just pushing everyone. Even Kudus, I can't even lie. He pushed Kudus off him a couple times. Like he was having no trouble, and he was a huge problem for us. But just the way that Iriola set them up was very well. Like we struggled to play through any of the lines, and you can tell why we needed Xavi Simons or a player of that type because we had nobody that can pick up the ball, turn, pass, break the lines. We needed someone to carry through the lines at times. And yeah, man, Richarlison stinker today. Brennan Johnson, they went back to their old selves. You know, they have a couple good games. I'll start giving them the praise that they deserve, and then go back to their old selves and just dreadful. Richarlison's flopping over the pitch like a fish. And Brennan Johnson's just allergic to the ball. His first touch is dreadful at times. So, look, they were better than us. There's no way around it. They were much better than us. I don't think I'm looking at it and going, it's a horrible Thomas Frank game. I think tactically, Iriola he outclassed us, definitely. I'm not going to take nothing away from that. But I think if you had a few different players on the pitch, like we saw in the last 25 minutes when we changed the players and had more players that can retain the possession, once you have a Simmons in there, once you have a better left winger in there, I don't think we have the same problem. So as much as they were a lot better than us, lucky that it was only a 1-0 game, because if that was Ange, it probably would have been 4 or 5 because we would have just kept being so gung-ho. So, look, yeah, man, they were better than us. They deserved the winner. There's no excuses.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And you guys, the transfer window has been up and down for you guys this summer. Rejections, flipping. What happened with Morgan Gibbs White? I don't even blame you. Your club.
Let it all work out.
You know what I mean? Well, you've got
it works out. It did work. I'm not being funny. When you look at it,
I'm just going to ask you quick as well. Like, what more do you need to do, and then you can go there.
Yeah. So left wing, definitely. We need a left winger. We know that we've been in for Savinho for a long time. If it's not Savinho, Lookman, go get me a left winger of real quality that will bring goals to this team. And I think that I'll be very comfortable with our transfer window. Just having 4 first team players. So a right winger, a 10, a left winger, and then the central midfielder and Paulinho. That's a huge boost for us from last season, a huge step, especially going into the Champions League. And when you look at just the players that we signed of the quality, we've more going for proper quality rather than quantity, because far too often Spurs just sign player, and not much quality is there. Paulinho, Kudu, Xavi Simons, real quality. Now go get me a left winger like that and a centre back for backup. I know I've been hearing talks about Akanji and so on. I wouldn't mind it. A backup centre back, he'll do a job. But the main one's that left winger we need to get done over the next couple of days.
No, I agree, and he has worked out for you guys in the end. You've made some good moves, so I don't expect this to happen like every week on the Ange, especially. Do we have a super chat? We have a comment about Spurs that we'll go to in a moment, but we'll go back to Man United. Obviously, dramatic win in the big 6-pointer against Burnley in the relegation battle, as people are calling it. David, you've been a man that says, as long as I get results, as long as I get wins, you're a happy man. Are you happy today?
Yeah, I have to be happy. I think what Terry said is right, and I do have to take that on board. We don't win that often, do we? So unfortunately now we have to, when we win, we have to be happy. And of course I'm happy. And Bruno strikes again, listen, I've given Bruno a bit of stick throughout pre-season and the start of this year, but that's because he's being played out of position. He finally went into number 10 today. For me, he looked like the old Bruno again, linking things up, spreading it, and he strikes again with a penalty. I mean, what would we do without Bruno Fernandez the last however many years he's played for us? So everyone giving me stick for calling him a legend. For me, in modern times, this guy has been a legend for us because without him, we would not be in the Premier League anymore. But yeah, listen, everyone's saying that, look how many attempts we had. We cannot blame Amorim because we're not putting our chances away. I agree with you, but at the same time, maybe if he starts with his 70-odd million striker, maybe some of those chances get put away. Although that striker didn't look too great later on in the game, did he? That second header. The first one was tough, but that second header, I mean, he's got to hit the target there. Yeah. I mean, are they working on finishing in training? If you're seeing a pattern, but then you say that, look at the goalkeepers. If they are working on finishing in training, they're working against Bayern and Onana.
Yeah, and Onana.
So they're probably slotting everything in training, and we're thinking no problems. But come game day, we're just not finishing our chances. You're right. If we put them away, but that's still, for me, the manager's got to figure it out. Start with a striker. But yeah, look, last point. It is finishing on a negative, but the set pieces again. We're going to be the worst team in the league again for set pieces, conceding from set pieces.
Yeah, a throw in, a long throw. I hate long throws in general, but long throws against Man United seem to do so much damage and chaos. And the both goals were just our defenders being lapsadaisical. Like the one that annoyed me the most is actually not the long throw. I was very upset with Bayern in the moment, but that's because I have a big Bayern agenda, so I can hold my hands up and say I'm being harsh. I felt like he could have saved it better because it hits his. My problem is it hits his wrist instead of his palm of the hand. So and then it bounces all over the place. Cool, but with the first goal, if you watch the build-up play, Lyle Foster started off that move on the left-hand side. He gets to just stroll across our back line into whatever position he wants, and then becomes onside, and then gets a tap in. It was a great goal for Bournemouth.
It was a striker's goal. I said that in the chat, didn't I? What a striker's goal!
It's a brilliant goal, and it's like I'm looking at it's like, where's the responsibility? Where's the leadership? Everyone has looked at him and is like, oh yeah, the other guy will pick him up. The other guy will pick him up. Yeah. And then no one picked him up in the end. So we have to really work on those things. We really do. But I want to go to Neji next, and then we go to Seb for his opinions as a rival on whatever game he wants to talk about. Neji, you've been someone who's been calling for patience, calling for fans to not criticize the system, but look at the players in the system before you can criticize it. Today it was another one of those days where the players really let the manager down in regards of finishing. Do you think that this was a moment where people and fans can look at it and be like, it's more down to the players than it is the manager?
Good question, man. I'd like to be clear and say I think you can criticize any system as long as it's relevant to the situation that we're talking about. The reason I've been saying that is for the simple fact that I think because we haven't been getting results, people are easily just to surface level and say it's the manager, it's the system. I mean, logically speaking, that's probably the first thing you're going to think of when you actually break down the games. We're evidently battering teams the way we're playing. So I always have the stance of what's the main purpose of a formation or a system? To create chances and to be defensively as solid as you can in both ways, right? Yes, defensively we aren't great, fair play, cool. But then I have to ask myself, well, is the manager being able to get us to do that? Yes. Why is he able to do that? Because the players are actually applying themselves to what's being asked, and it's evidently on the pitch. Then is there a level of consistency with that? I have to say yes. Can I prove that, and can I back that up with the stats that we have that favors, specific creative stats, defensive stats, work rates, miles ran, etc.? Yes. So then I can go, well, it's not obviously that then, is it? It's something else. And then I'm looking and going, okay, well, how many chances are we creating? Quite enough. I think we've created the most in the league over 3 games. So, I'm not lying when I have these observations. I think I'm just being very critical and not being emotional because we're not getting 3 points. I'm trying to find a solution to a situation rather than have an agenda and go, I dislike a manager, so every time we lose, it's the manager. Because here's the other thing. If the manager wins, are you going to be the same? Are you going to give the same energy but on praise for the manager and say it's all the manager? No, we're going to go, it's hand in hand. Did the manager do his job? Yes. Can he make certain changes, KJ? Like with certain players that he starts? Yes. But are they sackable offences? No. Why? Because it happens at every manager. Some players start, some don't. He gets it right, he gets it wrong. So the creme de la creme of it is we don't finish our chances. And what happens at Manchester United, and we've seen for the past 3-4 seasons, is that when we don't do that, we apply a level of pressure to ourselves. We start second-guessing ourselves. We give the opposition enough chance to go and then attack us and get some scrappy goals. Then the confidence switches. There's always an emotional imbalance. There's always a level of pressure that gets applied. These are human beings, and when they're in them situations, they find it hard to then push through that barrier. So for me, it's just a case of finish your clear chances. I'm at today much better game than the last 2. He's my star boy. You've been saying it from the longest, as you know, KJ. But today he needed a better performance. He should have been running it, man, and he was. But that finish, he should have finished. Yes, and Mbeumo, the ball, man, if you know elite ball, fine. You can see there's a little bobble. However, he has to control his body shape, in my opinion, at the high end of football as we're talking, and then put it on targets at least. But, you look at that and go, well, it was Ahmad who actually closed down the ball from the counter in the first place. Zirkzee headed it on and so forth. So things are working, whether it's a counter-attack, whether they sit behind the ball, whether it's from set pieces, etc. Things are working. So it's just a case of, you can call it unluck. You can say, oh, we're just unlucky. Or you can go, no, we just need to be more clinical. Because what happens, KJ, is when you start bagging your goals, you get that lift, you get that feeling. When you bag goals from the system that you have, what it does confirm is that your system is working. Even though that's not the ramifications, the now says when you grab baggy goals, you go, it's working. Oh, we're getting wins now. Oh, okay, cool, it's working. I mean, that's why there's the opposite when we don't score the goals. Oh yeah, the system don't work. It's like, are you actually critically watching the game? Or are you actually analyzing it with accuracy? And that's always been my issue. So listen, I'm happy with the win. Again, I'm going to talk lastly before I move on. The uncontrollables that you can't control. That's 3 games now, Premier League games, where there's clear penalties we're not having. And I have to talk about football. We're talking the sport that we have. So forget Man United, forget the opposition. This is once again being stitched over in situations. And because we're so desperate and we need these things, this is 4 seasons on the bounce. I've been saying this. That's why I'm keeping a tally now. I'm keeping a tally now because the Arsenal game, you've got Mason Mount having his shirt ripped off by Saliba, but today Kyle Walker can pull his shirt in the box, but that's not the same energy. Okay, cool. So note that one down. Then you look at the foul that he did on Kuna. Took his ankle out. Nothing. Zirkzee today, yes. The defender missed the ball, but he took Zirkzee's foot and dropped him down. Should have had another penalty. Didn't even get reviewed. So I'm looking at consistency and all aspects of football matches, whether that's things Man United can control or can't control. And right now, it stinks from PGMOL, whatever they're called. It stinks. It's not looking good for them, in my opinion. So I'm just going to keep receipts because I know we're going to get down the season, halfway down, KJ, and people are going to be like, yeah, manager this, da-da-da. I'm like, no, just remember when I spoke about da-da-da-da-da-da. So I'm going to let them go with the fairies and getting their emotional tangents. I'm going to stay consistent. That's all I need to say. But yeah, we got the win, 3 points. I'm happy.
Yeah, big up, man, big up. We're gonna go to some chats. Then we're gonna go to Seb, and we got Nathan who's calling in as well. To have his say. Cal here says, utterly pathetic from Ange today. Exact same performance in every aspect from last season. Oh wait, what? He's not here anymore. So you mean to tell me he's not actually a managerial issue at this club? Here calling out Spurs and saying it's maybe more the players or maybe more of the hierarchy and not necessarily the manager. My guy Brian Pastor, hope you're doing well. Hope you're happy today. Good win today. A good overall performance. Bruno, big penalty. Ahmad needs to swap shirts.
Big up Brian, man. He's a legend, man. He's been around for the longest.
Brian, man. Ahmad needs to swap shirts with Jaden Anthony since he wants it so bad. Lol. Listen, my man was dragging him differently today. Joshua Jacob is back again. He says, I feel like guys use the missed chances as a way to say it works. Like, how are we when we don't have the ball? How many players have shined in the system every time? I asked that. No one has an answer. And then we can come back to that in a moment. And also the goals United have given up is due to individual errors and not the system. One thing I will say, especially today, no system can account for your defenders deciding to go to sleep and not even do anything about defending. So yes, Seb, you're an Arsenal fan, you're a rival. Which game did you watch today, by the way?
I try to keep an eye on both, mostly the United game, but I came on after the Fulham game and I was on about mentality. It does seem that Man United, the home crowd is a big thing for United. They seem to perform much better at home. I think Bruno needed a big game today, considering he hasn't really stepped up in any game whatsoever. So I think it's a good thing. The mentality is there when they want to play, but obviously the decisions, Man United, it's up to the game state. They should have been in front 2-3 goals anyway. So you've got to look at that as a positive. There was a lot more chances being created. I thought even the midfield was a bit better today. Yes, you are playing Burnley, but United's form coming into this game, you needed to win today. The absolute meltdowns. One of my best friends is a Man United fan, and just watching him as the Burnley guy, he's just having an absolute meltdown. Dorgu not starting is a bit different, fair enough. I don't think he's been too bad, but I think maybe a change-up was probably needed anyway, especially out wide in the last couple of games. It's been very poor, so it's probably a good decision there. I'm a bit annoyed Cunha ended up going off injured because I did play my free hit in fantasy this week and put him in and he just gets injured immediately. But from a Manchester United point of view, you got the 3 points. It was a much better performance today. I think you should be happy. Like, same as Terry, if you're getting the win, yeah, there is areas to criticise. I think the individual errors is disappointing. The goalkeeper, once again, I don't know if he just butters his hands with like butter at the start of the game or he needs to take a Red Bull, Jamie Vardy style before the game. But I think with Man United, you got the 3 points today. Look positively at this and hopefully, because momentum can go one or two ways. It looked like it was going the other way. Maybe you should start building on this and go the other way. So, yeah, Amorim today, there's not much to criticise because you did create the chances. If the early goals go in, that could have been a rout, but they didn't. Just work on the chances. And the thing with Šeško, he's a young player. You're going to expect him to have games like that. He's not going to hit the ground running immediately. He's a young player. You can't expect that. Not everyone's a Yamal. Not everyone is a Rooney, for instance. You're going to have to give him time and not get on his back too much. Look what's happened to Højlund, bringing a young player. He's now gone to Napoli. So be patient with him, for God's sake. So just be calm. But yeah, United fans, I think, should be happy. Tottenham, I was getting worried about Spurs because they have genuinely been really good. But today was poor. I don't agree that it's necessarily Pochettino because they definitely didn't play Pochettino and style football today. I just think Bournemouth went at them. They decided to go at them from the off and Spurs looked shook. They obviously didn't have the creativity in midfield. I think, if an Eze was in there today, Tottenham would have been a lot better. They were a bit blunt up front. Richarlison returning to his old self. So very happy with that because I was genuinely getting worried about Spurs. So for them to drop some points today is great. But Bournemouth are a very good side. They are very good. The only thing I think Tottenham need to look at here is Bournemouth lost most of their backline last season. It's basically a brand new backline and they didn't do anywhere near enough to be testing them. Yeah. At least when you're getting up, have some pot shots, test the goalkeeper a bit. I don't think they ran at their man enough, but it was just like Bournemouth came in and then mentality from Tottenham today, it was just like nothing. At home, you should be doing better, but Bournemouth are a good side, so you kind of expect them to try and have some of the ball. They've got a superb manager in there, but for Tottenham, especially the way they've been playing, this is a bit... I was shocked today. I was genuinely shocked at how poor Spurs were, but I don't think it's just the players on the pitch. I think Maddison go out, get some creativity and they'll be better. Obviously, Son's gone. He's a big loss at left-hand side. Brennan Johnson, not great again today, but very happy that Spurs lost because genuinely they were very good up to this time, up until this game. But Tottenham fans should be angry, but Man United fans, I think, take the win, be happy. You got 3 points today, and hopefully for you guys, you can try and push on and Bruno get a bit of confidence back into it.
Yeah, hopefully we can be a springboard for us. We got some super chats to come and some interesting stats that has been sent to me by Pastor Brian. So we'll read them out. But before that, Nathan, let us know who you support, mate. If Nathan's still there.
Yeah, I'm still here, bro.
There you go. Well, nice to meet you, mate. Who you support?
Man United.
Man United, nice. So, what are your thoughts on today's game? Dramatic late win, Bruno penalty in the end. It relieves some kind of pressure on Amorim. Where are you standing right now with the win and with the team?
I'm still up 50-50. I'm still 50-50. I want to back Amorim, but after what I saw against the in the Carabao Cup, I'm still shooking back them. So I'm still 50-50.
Yeah, fair enough. I think a lot of fans are like that as well.
Yeah, but I want to get your view on something. Given that Cunha, I hope he's not out for a long period of time. But given the injury on Cunha, do you see Šeško and Mount? No, not Mount. Menu. Do you see Šeško and Menu starting more like Bruno going back to the 10 and Mount and Menu coming in?
I mean, I would hope so. I'd hope to see that kind of adjustment, or just some kind of variation where we can get Menu, we can get Bruno both on the pitch, because when they are together, we perform better. I don't agree with Amorim's decision to make it about Menu being Bruno's understudy, but as you saw, we saw it at times today, they had that little interchange at the edge of the box where Kobe got a shot off. So we've seen them together. We know they can play together. So hopefully, even though the injury is bad, and I don't like the injury, and hopefully it's short, Amorim can see sense and get them both on the pitch at the same time. I appreciate that. I don't know about David on AG, but I definitely would like to see that a bit more.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, I know it's a preference of having Kobe Mainu start and Bruno start, but at the moment this season we have to look at performances. And again, sadly, I'm going to say this because it's not my preference. However, I can look outside of my bias and still value the fact that Mason Mount has had a very good 3 games for us. Regardless of what you think about him, if you like him or not, he's evidently doing his job. So if it's based on performance and rhythm, because if you've got a player that's in good rhythm, that is enabling your team to do well, then do you drop that play regardless if you prefer him or not? I don't know if people can have that mentality or not. I'm unsure. However, for me, from a Man United perspective, it would be very difficult to drop Mount looking from the outside in. Would I like him to be dropped? Absolutely, all day, because I prefer Kobe Manu all day. I would prefer Bruno to be in that 10 where Mount is. Could that be a possibility? Absolutely. But in terms of, a system angle, shall we say, and in terms of players that are in good form and good rhythm who are having an impact on and off the ball, respectfully, you don't want to break the rhythm. So it'll be I don't believe you're going to see Mount being dropped, which means then does Kobe start, and it may just be Šeško instead going up top and simply just replacing Cunha, because Cuna's been playing in the 10. That would be my opinion. But yeah, feel free to agree or disagree or whatever.
Yeah, I think I hear you what you're saying about Mount, and someone else said he's been really good. But I mean, what is really good, mate? Like, he's running around a lot, you know?
I'm not going to be I can't lie. I'm not going to be disingenuous with him. I can't. Again, I'm not.
Your point on him.
I'm not his big fan. I'm not.
I see your point on him. Like, he works hard. I mean, what he did against Walker. Walker's not a weak guy, you know? And he nearly won us a penalty from being fast, strong, and passionate. I'm not taking anything away from Mount, but for me, he's a great runner. His 10K run time must be rapid, because that's all it is for me. That's all it is for me with Mount. For me, now Cunha's injured, I think Bruno has to play number 10 and Mainu has to come into midfield. That is literally it.
And he's been playing false nines, so you could see maybe in Bruno up top, you could see with Mount. So we could have 5 of them.
If you're going to play the false 9, I think you have to put in Bruno as the false 9, not Cunha or Mount. That's my opinion. I think out of the 3, he's the more natural striker, in my opinion. But I mean, he had a chance early on in the game as well, too, right? When he should have slotted as well. And Bumo, he did get a goal in the end. But yeah, for me, man, this whole false 9 stuff, I think he's seeing it as we're getting chances, so let me continue with this because we're starting really well. But bro, up until the Mbumo goal, I mean, all our goals had come from own goals, you know, this season. Look, I'm happy. Like I said, I do want to celebrate the win, but it is Burnley, guys. We need to just be honest about it. And we scraped it. We scraped it with the final kick of the game to win 3-2. Our next win may not come for at least another 2-3 games. So I'm trying to be positive, but you know me, I'm being realistic, and you're not going to like what I'm going to say, but Amorim, after the Grimsby game, said he's given up. Then he does an interview saying he wants to be here for 20 years. I hear what Terry's saying about the guy wears his heart on his sleeve, and we can relate to him. But listen, I can't have the manager flip-flopping like this, being so emotional and so open about it. We need someone to show strength. Listen, Jose Mourinho's available. Get that guy back ASAP. Let me explain myself. Since Ferguson has left, the manager to win the most trophies for Man United, Jose Mourinho. The manager to get the most goals out of the team, Jose Mourinho. The manager to get the most consecutive wins since Fergie left, Jose Mourinho. Best defensive record, Jose Mourinho. I know he's not what he was, but he will at least get us back into the top 10. I know this is a negative way for me. I have to be me, man. I tried my best.
We here. We're not here to suppress. This is okay, man. You're expressing yourself.
I tried my best, bro. But I've got to say what's in my heart.
Just do you, bro. Just do you.
I understand what you're saying, but in an interview, didn't Jose specifically said he's only interested in managing a lower league side, like a side fighting against relegation.
He said he doesn't want to manage in Europe. He wants a lower end side. So let's be honest. I think he's going to West Ham. He's going West Ham.
Nah. I don't know. Jose ain't coming back to England, man. I don't think that's happening. We've got some super chats and some stats to go through, and then we will be out of here. Thank you for everyone who's watching the stream. Make sure you're liking the stream and you subscribe to the Football Terrace and turn them bell notifications on so that you can always be here when we are live. We've got a super chat here that says, for your information, Man United's average shot XG is about mid-table, meaning they generate okay chances, consistently not good chances. So you got that stat, but then Pastor Brian sent in some stats to me and I'm going to read them out today. So we got United are tied with at the top of the pre-L table on expected goals with Chelsea at 6.7. This is clearly after today's game. United are fifth on big chances created and 6. Man United are fifth on big chances missed on 4. So 6 of the big chances we have created, we have missed 4. Man United are top on the touches in opposition's box with 100. So in some interesting stats coming through there, and we obviously
when the stats match the eye test, you're doing all right, innit?
Yeah. But we got super chat here about by Joshua Jack saying people using the missed chances as a way to say the system works. You said this one. Naji, you are someone who said this, and he said the opposite.
The context isn't exactly accurate. I didn't say the missed chances shows the system works. I said the system is there to create the chances. After that, it's on the players to then put the ball in the net. And then I said, if the players put the ball in the net, all of a sudden you think the system works. The same way when the players haven't been putting the ball in the net, you think the system doesn't work. I said the ramifications in which we're measuring whether a system works or not is incorrect. We should not be looking at results as that. And that's why I don't think a manager should hold weight. I look at what the manager's role is to do regarding a system specifically. And is the team able to do that to a level? Are we going to be the best defensive team in the league? No. Why? Because we know what managers come in for and how long he's been here. So let's keep it 100 and real. We've all said we finished 10th or 8th. So we're expecting to not be the best at any of these stats. However, do we have a level of balance and consistency? So if we're in the top 8 within defensive and offensive statistics, and then you look at the goals that we're scoring and conceding, again, not that we're not scoring, sorry, and the goals that we're conceding, you can identify that it's quite evidently far from the system first and foremost. And that's all I'm doing. Just observing that. It's quite evident. So, no, it's I think you've got me misunderstood there, Joshua, but appreciate the super chat as you've popped in, bro.
But the system hasn't necessarily been bad in attacking. Even last season, Man United missed the most big chances. So it's not necessarily that. It's more when you're in a transition going from the defence to the attack, is the midfield in particular that's been a bit more of an issue there. So it's not necessarily that. But then again, if you add someone like Belaber or another midfielder in, it'd be less of an issue. But I think just using your width a bit more, because of the system is geared towards width, would be a lot better. But it hasn't really been that bad attacking wise. It's just been the finishing, really.
No, I agree. And I think, to
Have
be
we
fair,
solved
one thing I
it?
would make is that you have to, in a transition, there has to be moments where you paper over cracks. Sadly, that's just part of anything. Like, you're not going to get all your plays in straight away. You're not going to get everything you want, because we're not in the situation like City and Liverpool are in no more. We're no longer big Man United. We can no longer operate like big Man United, regardless of our pride and ego that is attached to that badge. So we have to be real and go, okay, where are the main issues? And I said, KJ will back me. I said this under Ten Hag when he did that first season and he managed to get us defensively structured. What was that to do? Keep the keeper. Yes, you made mistakes, but keep the keeper. Add some goals to that. Just bring some level of stability first before you start trying to change your system and formation. Because unfortunately, the Glazers, Woodward and them, man, managers don't last over 2 years at United. So you've got to be smart here. And that's why I said he was naive. Ruben's obviously evidently now working under Ineos, which is different constraints. They're now working towards a system that he's happy with, and he's getting results in terms of how the system and how the team's playing. The players are evidently doing what he wants. They're just not finishing the chances. So I'm patient until I see the complete opposite with those stats, until I see or think that we can't go dominate teams. We can't go and push through. Yeah, the midfield's weak. We all know that. But can you add a goalkeeper? Can you add a goalkeeper? Sorry, just quickly. Can you add a goalkeeper? I've literally finished 2 seconds. Can you add a goalkeeper basically to maintain you and keep you in games so that these chances we do create, we can at least keep a foothold in the game? I'll finish with that, bro.
If they I'm asking you, if they consistently miss their chances, if this consistently goes on, where do we go from there?
Is that a question or direct? Yeah. No, I think it's a good question. I mean, it's hard. We haven't got the time to break it down, but I did break it down on Twitter, saying that it's not always a manager's situation to build a level of character and personality. You can only do so much in terms of speaking into somebody. Unfortunately, character is built from tough situations, the same with life and everything else. There has to be a level of application from yourself to, one, maintain consistency in how you apply yourself, regardless of the feelings that you go through. But then two, when you do apply yourself, to then get yourself over the edge and do it. And as a player, from an athlete's perspective, that is the difficult part, because there's the athletes are taking a lot of this pressure, right? I'm not saying pressure is not valid, but because of the amount because of the amount and the weight of the pressure, they have a level that they now have to work under. So you have to churn through these dead end situations that you're in over a longer period of time in order for you to then go, okay, I'm confident. And this is why players like your Brunos and Buemos and Cunhas, who clearly are a little bit more consistent under levels of pressure and can give you those one moments, they breed that level of confidence, so that what happens, the pressure comes down, and you know that when you're in goal, you're more relaxed. And I think that's what it is. But people don't want to go through that slog, and that's just human nature, I believe.
What I think is, mate, if these chances continue to be missed, right, you have to say that Amorim, are we in agreement all here that Amorim had a say in picking Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko? Are we all in agreement that he's had a say in that?
You would have had to say, absolutely.
Cunha is perfect for the formation.
Put it on him though. I'd put it more on Wilcox and Barada and Vavell, those three there.
What I'm saying is, if these chances continue to be missed, Amorim's not going to be there, no matter how good the system's working. And this is a results business. It is, and these players need to start scoring the goals. And if he's contributed to picking these players, he has to take some of the blame if these players are not performing. That's all I'm saying. I ain't going to lie. I know we sound like we're on complete opposite ends here. I agree with most of the stuff you say. But yeah, the pressure thing, it's a valid point. But man, you're a professional footballer. You're getting paid a whole heap of money. This is part of the life. It's your job, you know. So I'm not fully behind you on that. But you're right in the sense of pressure's playing a big part. They can't seem to finish because they know that it's so important. But to finish up, I just think if the goals don't go in, go on.
To add on that, from a tactical point of view, I've been for the last 3 games that Sesko has come on as a substitute. I realized that Amorim has switched from, like, when he has Cunha and Mbeumo on the field, they would run at the defense, but he would cross the ball as much. Like, I don't know if when Sheshko starting consistently, if he's going to have the players crossing the bar more to give him a height advantage, like or he's 6'5" or like that. But the
That's a
thing
good
is,
point. I saw
Dallo,
more from
but the thing is, Dallo and Dallo,
Sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt, but this cannot wait. This cannot wait. Liverpool have made a second bid for Mark Gately plus a 10% clause. Crystal Palace seeking 30 million plus 35 million plus 5 add-ons for each defender. Liverpool first proposal 35 million fee to Palace officials in days after the Community Shield. So Liverpool put in a for Mark Gahey. They are
needs to
looking.
be done, innit? Needed to be
They're
done.
looking to make sure they secure the league. They are
This is the
close.
thing, you know, you look at Liverpool, right? I've been saying like Liverpool respectful, and again, objectively speaking, just football. They haven't been great defensively, but they've been churning out results and grabbing their, bagging goals. And this is the thing: you can leave your fans happy with the wins, knowing that I just need to paper over these cracks. And this is just this. This is why I say you were right when you were saying it's a results business to Guys United. This is why I've always been saying I don't care what system you play or formation you play. A system and a formation is not the be all and end all to success. You've just got to capitalize exactly. And
Carragher said something on the overlap the other day, which like really was spot on. He was like, you know, when you play bad and you win, like fair play, you're gonna have better days, yeah.
Facts.
But when you play good and you lose, man, you've got no hope, and that is us at the moment. Let's be honest. We're playing good and we're losing, so it's a valid point. That's why I'm so worried. I know I come across negative, but I'm really worried, man.
I actually side with you. Worried us that I don't get me wrong. Like, okay, maybe it's a personality and character thing. Like for me, when I feel a level of pressure and stuff, I can regulate my emotions differently.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
I
saying
go
better
nuts,
or
bro.
worse.
I go nuts. I'm emotional.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not sitting here to say what I'm saying is gospel truth. I'm not. I'm just feel like I'm able to look from a perspective that is not based on my frustration and thinking, because I'm looking for solutions straight away. So I have to be honest with the information, whether I like it or not. And I'm just saying at this moment in time, when we look at Manchester United and Amorim, I hold him accountable for what I believe he should be accountable for. And then I do the same with the players, and I put it together and go, which one is not pulling the strings enough? We brought these strikers for a very obvious reason, and Bournemouth and Kuna were like top 5 in the
I think last season. Like 20
so
goals
they have a
each
level of expectation. But even let's say they lost 5 GA in comparison to last season because of the pressure. Just give them that. That's still more than what we would have had last season. Therefore, I think okay, perfect. We're moving in some form of direction. So I'm not quick to get too hot-headed. I just believe it's those that don't like the man. By the way, you don't have to like him, but we don't have to lie about him. That's my thing with the fan. Not saying you, but the online. You don't have to like someone. That's fine, but don't lie about it to fit the narrative. Because when does becoming Man United, supporting Man United, when does that become the thing again? Or we just support your own agenda?
Yeah, you're true, Najee. Sorry to call you guys up. I have run out of time, guys. We've run out of
shit,
time.
sorry.
You know what I mean? It's been a good conversation. Everyone's had their fair points. You know what I mean? So it's been good, man. It's been good. Guys, in the comment section, let us know how you feel about the show. Hopefully you all had a good time. I know I had a good time. Man United won again. Oh, I want to save him for this for 2 weeks because it's international break.
We're ninth. We're top half of the league.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We're ninth. I think for the first time in a flipping year. So yes, things are going well.
Finish it now, man.
Commiseration to Spurs. It wasn't the best day in the office, but I'm pretty sure they will be back very, very soon. So what I need you guys to do is, of course, like the stream because we need your support in that. Also, subscribe to the Football Terrace and also turn on your bell notifications. We will be redirecting this stream to MHF where they're doing their reaction to the Premier League games. Make sure you support those guys.
KJ, just quickly, everyone in the comment, just send a like for KJ as well. Fill in for Terry's role.
KJ,
it's not
easy. Smashing it, bro.
Not easy, man. He's doing the job, man. He's doing the job.
I appreciate that, guys. Terry will be back tomorrow for the Arsenal-Liverpool game. But we've got one more stream with me as host for Man City and their game. So, guys, it's been a good ride, man. Remember when Terry comes back,
KJ.
Yeah. Yes, bro.
Quick prediction for the match tomorrow. Who you have winning that match?
I've said what I said. I said 3-3 to draw, 3-3 draw. I think it's gonna be an absolute amazing game. But Terry will be covering that I will be
Yeah.
chilling because I've learned that being Terry
It's hard
is
work,
not
yeah.
easy. It's not easy, people. You know what I mean? So that's why when Terry comes back, hashtag give KJ a raise, hashtag KJ deserves a raise.
Yeah.
KJ raise gang. Let's flipping go.
For
All right,
real.
guys. Go over to MHF and support them. We're out of here. I'm gonna go eat some food now. Come on, Man United. Hopefully we can turn it around. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your evenings.